First things first, can you at least hear me? Before we do anything else, oh, sorry, I've been lower this a little bit. Can you guys hear me a bit? So much is going on, and I really wish I knew what was happening right now. All right, there was some weird thing going on. Part of my system is down. I see a little modify button. I'm not going to click on it because I don't know how my system's going to behave. So it's going to sit there waiting until we're done. Anyway, what the hell? Why is my system starting over? Okay, let's stop. Wait, let's stop all this. Stop. Oh, now it's going to the way it's supposed to be. Look. Everything is messing up today. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this. Everything is kicking in last moment because I restarted my whole system. So it's behaving like we're just starting up everything. Cancel you. I'm gonna cancel you out. You're not gonna move. I'm gonna have to do everything manually. So it is what it is. Actually, this music is not even playing where I normally play it from. It's playing from StreamYard. Interesting enough. I'm gonna do this and click it out. Anyway, I guess this is the way we're starting out things, all messed up, all screwed up, all in any kind of ways. I have no idea what the hell that this means. Not just for the stream, but like this, none of this. I can't read anything. My entire deck is blank. Look at this. Apparently, this is the thing that crashed down everything else. My entire deck is blank. I can't do anything, so I have no special buttons that I can work on, no specific things. Fuck! There's some things that I wanted to okay, hold up. We're almost where I need to be at. Okay, I restarted my whole computer. Okay. We're gonna do the best that we can. So we're gonna go back to where I am. Everything is manual. Sorry, I got so used to programming everything to be semi-automatic for me. So now I got to do everything from scratch. Anyway, guys. Welcome, of course. Welcome to an episode of Opinionated with yours truly on a very screwed up thing that's happening right now on my stream for whatever damn reason. But we're gonna just run it the way we're gonna run it. I'm trying to make sure I don't hit any wrong scenes so that we are absolutely. If I can find my scenes because I've got so many of them. Here we go. We're gonna run solo mode. We're not gonna run studio mode. So I'm really gonna have to try to figure out everything because I have no buttons to rely on. Nothing. None. Zip. Zero. Zilch. You're just gonna mainly just get me. Anyway. Sometimes you have to hate technology. This is what it is. Anyway, as you saw from the stream title, For those, thank you for actually showing up the second time around because somehow the system went down the first time around. We're going to talk about choosing peace over performance. Now, I had a whole different thing that I want to talk about, but I was reviewing. I'm going to turn my loop deck around because it's pissing me off to look at it to see that it's empty. Out of my face. Oh my gosh. Never mind. That's going to be later. I'll sort it out when I get there. I'll sort it out when I get there. Anyway, so I was looking at LA Wilks' stream, right? This is apparently supposed to be his last stream. I really wish I could drink tonight, but I can't. This is supposed to be LA Wilks' last stream for tonight. He's taking a hiatus. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff that's going on. But I was listening to his stream while I was at work, and it made me think about a few things. Why is this so high? I feel like I'm short. There you go. And I was looking at his stream and trying to figure out where he was coming from, what was his perspective when it comes to things, why he was doing what he did. And for some reason, I do know some of it, and some other things I've learned along the way. Anyway, like I said, I'm partly aggravated. Yeah, and you like little boys. So anyway, don't do him like that. Don't try to do me like that either. All right. You take that, locksmith. He's on his arc. He's on his arcs in a lot of different ways. And that's something I want to kind of cover, but not in just what he's talking about, in a lot of different aspects for a lot of different people. So I think it's something that we really, really, really need to talk about, because one of the things that he was talking about, and I've said this to him even for a while, and that is choosing yourself is not an easy path. And I think this is something that he's coming down to right now, that he's realized more and more and more. And for the most part, I believe he already knew it. I believe he already understands it. But for some reason, he, instead of choosing the path, he waited till it became too much and the path basically chose him. I really should. I didn't even think about it. I really should at him in this stream, but he's probably just taking his break off or whatever, taking his time off. I don't really want him to come up or anything like that. But the whole idea is choosing your piece over performance, and I think we'll get a little bit into that. So let me dive into it. I'm so screwed up from the first hiccups going on, but when we talk about like choosing yourself should be the easy choice. And I was thinking about it even when I said it in his chat, right? That's what people tell us. That's the thing that people say. That's what is written in captions. That's what gets posted under cute little quotes with cute little graphics. This whole little minimalist fonts and all the other bullshit and all the fucking emojis that people. I'm thinking about social media right now, but we got to keep it honest real quick. Choosing yourself, especially in public, is damn near a spiritual war. It is. A lot of people like to say a lot of things, but they really don't understand where they're coming from. Yo, speak of the man himself. I was just thinking about what I was going to add you in this, because I want to talk about a little about what you was talking about earlier today. So I appreciate you being in the chat, LA. Damn, speak of the devil, man. That's crazy. And I was saying, like, as I was thinking to myself, I was saying it even in my head. It's like, people don't just, you don't just pick peace. You have to fight for it. You have to like bleed for it. You have to sacrifice your image. You have to sacrifice your access. You have to deal with being, you have to sacrifice your comfort. You have to, in many cases, sacrifice even your own community. And here's the fucked up part, when you finally do it, when you stop performing, when you stop people pleasing, when you stop overextending, when you finally say, I need to protect me, for some reason, the applause stop. The applause stop. The calls don't stop, but the applause stop. The vibe in the room changes, especially when you start changing your mindset. Because people People aren't as supportive of you when you're trying to do your healing. Not as much as they pretend to be, at least. They love you to be the strong version. They want you to be the strong version of you. They want you to be the resilient version. The give you everything even while I'm drowning version. But when you decide to sit still, when you decide to take a breath for yourself, when you stop having to explain, when you start protecting your own energy, like your peace is actually priceless, suddenly people start talking about you switch up. And I think that's when a lot of people turn to realize peace was never the hard part. It wasn't. Peace is not the hard part. It's the people who make choosing peace hard, make choosing peace difficult. You see, nobody warns you that when you choose peace, you are, when you choose peace, you lose permission. You lose the permission to show up late. You lose the permission to say no. You lose the permission to disconnect without guilt. They're not going to let you just run away with that. They're going to throw all that shit at you. Because when you're known for performance, silence feels like betrayal. Not just for them, but even for you. Because maybe you are the type of person that you start wondering, am I lazy now? Am I letting people down? While they still care, if if I'm not constantly creating, explaining, defending, protecting, giving my resources to them, you're not resting. You're spiraling. I think because when you are giving your performance, when you're giving a performance on a regular basis, when you are giving to your family, your friends, your community on a regular basis, that becomes part of your identity. People stop seeing you for who you are and start seeing you for who they stop seeing you for who you are and they start seeing for what you do. It's no different from when we talk about our jobs, right? If someone asks me what my job is, so for instance, locksmith, you're talking in the chat. I know you're trying to make sure you we all trying to be crazy mom before she walks in the door. If I asked you, who are you going to tell me who you are as a person, or are you going to tell me what you do for a living? A lot of people lead with what they do on a regular basis, not for who they are as an individual. And when people see you as your performance, that's who they associate you as being, not as you being a normal individual with your own wants, your own needs, your own trials, your own tribulations. And let me say something that might sting. If your worth is tied to what you give, then peace is always going to be your punishment. Let me say that one more time for you. If your worth is solely tied up into what you give, then peace will always be your punishment to these people. Think about that for a moment. Because a lot of y'all, a lot of y'all aren't tired. You just basically stuck in a loop. Over of the over explaining, of the over giving, of the over performing to the people who would never do the same for you given the chance. Peace is not a goddamn bubble bath. It's not. It's not a self-care day. It's not a vibe or a trend of luxury. Trust me, I've dealt all of those. It ain't good enough. Peace is about the process of disappointing people on fucking purpose so that you can finally live for yourself. That's what peace is. It's grieving who you had to be in order to survive starting right now. It's mourning the people who like the version of you who always did for them. It's realizing that most folks love the mask. Oh, somebody dropped something. Oh, I see Linda up in here. Give me one moment, Linda. I get right to you. And I think that a lot of people want the mask of you. A lot of people want the person who's always been there performing. They don't really get to see the person who's sitting there underneath. Linda already hit us off, starting the night off with the 10. Appreciate you, Linda. Linda Kessler in here that's turned around and says, thank you for helping me find peace of mind in the moment of need. Selective association matters. I 100% agree. You need to find your people. You need to find your peace. And it's not going to come from other people. It comes within yourself. I tell this to people all the time. I appreciate you for the 10. Thank you very much. I said, I've been saying this for quite some time. I've said it to so many people. And I want to say to something else that LA said that was so important. Because we do this, even us, as even LA, myself, we're as learned people. We take in a lot of information, but we don't implement what we've actually been taught. He mentioned something that was very important. He mentioned No More Mr. Nice Guy. He actually put me onto that book. And I read the book too. And even as he was having the conversation with himself today and saying he must have read the book 5 times, he didn't actually put to action the things that were brought forth, the lessons that he learned from that book. And as he said it, I thought about it. Damn, I read that book at the very least, the full time once. Do I remember what was anything that was in there that I really need to put forth for myself? He made me really challenge myself in that. Did I make any changes? Or am I just simply one of these motherfuckers that think they too deep? Because normally I don't look at myself like that. These motherfuckers that, hey, you read that book? Yeah, I read that book. Of course I read that book, but haven't applied shit. So now, as much as he said he read 5 times, I might have to go back and read a second time because I'm not too sure I really took the lessons and applied them to anything in my life. It's something I need to consider. So yeah, choosing your peace shouldn't be hard. It should not be a hard choice. But for many people, it is. A lot of people would sit there and talk about how easy it is to just cut people off or how easy it is to just separate yourself. A lot of people talk a lot of shit. Let me just be honest. A lot of y'all talk a lot of shit. But you don't actually do with the things that you say 80% of the time, 90% of the time. In this world, because in this world, pretty much addicts are fueled by the idea of productivity, hustle, and about showing up, even when shit is crumbling on the side. But unfortunately, they don't really take a look at themselves. They somehow put themselves to the side because choosing peace is not something that's given to them at the time when they need to make decisions. Choosing peace, that's different. That's you being a revolutionary. That's you choosing war. And when you have people that you come to run across, whether they're your closest friends, this person might be your spouse or your partner or your whatever companion that you got, or it might even be your family. And I say at some point you need to learn that it's okay for you to be a revolutionary. It's okay for you to be the rebel even at your later age. It's okay for you to let them be uncomfortable, to let them say that you change, to let them fucking whisper, to let them go. Because your peace doesn't need a fucking permission slip. So that's going to be my little first monologue going into it. But I want to talk about segments because I was thinking about this as he was writing across. So my first segment is going to be strictly this. Salute to LA Wilks. Straight up. I want to take a moment to actually talk about someone who did the very hard thing. LA motherfucking Wilks. I've gotten to know this guy over a little bit of time. I say a little bit because we haven't run like 10 years or 8 years or whatever. But he's one of my closest people that I could say that's here in this content space. Not someone I could say I talk to every week behind the scenes, but someone who I could say I definitely watch and someone who I think that should be respected for whatever reason that you want to respect him for. But someone who I've watched for quite some time, someone who I personally say I respect, and someone who, when the pressure gets unbearable, choose peace over performance. And that's a rare thing that I get to actually see. Then go, nigga. Don't announce yourself. Don't announce yourself. Just go. You can walk. If it's too hard for you, the ushers will help you too. Hey, ushers, you can help him out. He don't need to announce himself. He don't even got to put the money in the collection plate. Help him out the door, please. Help him out. May heaven serve you. What the fuck are we doing here? You ain't got to not. I reject this message, nigga. This ain't no fucking ad for you. Just fucking go. Ain't no commercial for you. Bounce. The fuck are we doing here? Motherfuckers don't know this is Q2. What the fuck are we doing here? I don't like this message. I'm leaving. Eat a dick. I don't give a fuck about what you like. Eat a dick. Just that simple. A lot of people are not good with performance. And again, shit that's rare. I think most of y'all, like the asshole talking, don't know shit. Haven't really done shit. And don't want to hear about shit because why? They're afraid that someone might actually be doing the work that they haven't done themselves. Just gonna keep it a buck. Because most folks stay until they actually fucking break. I was even thinking about this shit on a particular conversation that we were having on the DBD, me and OG, where some dude was basically saying that he basically would never stand up to his father. You'll never test yourself. You'll never find your peace because you're always under the subjugation of someone else. I said what I said. I said what I said. There are people like that they'll keep showing up until the audience is satisfied, even if it kills them inside. I see content creators do this. But I've seen LA on many particular times try to move away from this. And it's a shame that he had to go through this with the people that's supposed to be the closest people to him. And keep in mind, he didn't leave because he failed. Let's put that out there. He didn't leave because he failed. He left because he refused to die for the fucking grind. How many of y'all willing to do this? Keep it a buck. Some of y'all say that y'all will, but how many of y'all really willing to go take that route? I mean, think about how many people you see in your real life or even online slowly fucking falling apart, but still they're uploading, still they go to their family, still they keep giving money, still smiling, still doing the work, still pretending for people who treat them like they're strangers, that they're a utility, not a person. For me, that wasn't LA. He chose differently. He said no to his family, to the fake love from even his viewers, to being everyone's content therapist, if you want to put it that way. And you know what? It takes a kind of clarity to say, I need to go do my own shit. I need to go heal. And I'm not going to ask y'all for your fucking permission. Do you know how much pain has to stack up before a man finally says, I'm done performing for you jigaboos? It takes a lot of introspection. It takes a lot of looking back to see where all the times that you fucked up, all the times that you thought that you were doing well and you were getting peanuts for your work. And most of y'all don't really look back because y'all sit there and you say you protect other people's bad behavior for the title of, well, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my mom, that's my dad. Well, that's my wife. I couldn't do that to my kid. The first and foremost important person is you first. You are always first. You cannot pour into others with an empty cup. You cannot save others until you have the strength to be able to save yourself. And that's the quiet part that people refuse to believe, even though it's said on a continuous basis. It's not the trolls that break you. It's the silence from the people who claim that they fucking love you. The ones who DM you, bro, I got you, and they never check in. The ones who hit that like button and never listen to your fucking message. That silence is loud as fuck when you look at what you're currently going through and you realize you're drowning. So shout out to LA who decides he wants to go to the DR. That he wants to take his time to heal. That he wants to take his time to breathe. That he wants to disconnect from what damn near killed him. And I say this with all the love and truth. I hate that he had to suffer like that in order to reach this point. But I love that at the end of it, he still made it. Because there was a version of that story, ladies and gentlemen, where he didn't. And I don't want to hear what it would have been where y'all would have been like, oh, rest in peace in the chat. Talking about he was a real one. Man, fuck all that shit. Fuck all that bullshit. But where were y'all when he was still doing this shit? He gonna take his break. If he feels like fucking popping up, he will. But for the most part, he gonna take his break. And instead of y'all waiting to when the point where he's crucified or when he's gone or whatever, why don't y'all do shit while he's here today? Where's the respect for him today? Not that other stream shit for some of y'all who know what I'm talking about, but where's y'all respect for even when he gives y'all the most subtle thing? When he's not just simply being on here, being a content creator, basically being your dancing monkey. When he's up here and he's trying to actually have a real conversation with you, or when he's actually giving you his real perspective on something, when he just simply asks for a little bit of decency. Most of you who sit in his platform won't even give him that. So if you cannot give the dignity to him when even when he's really asked for it to really be serious for a moment, y'all better not show up the day that this man passed. Because if he says he's happy, he's gonna get married, or he got a girl, he got a girl that's my. Y'all like, oh, great, LA, great. But it doesn't take too long before you rag on him. If he says he got a death and a loved one in the family, oh, I'm so sorry, LA, so sorry. If he says, yo, I'm not really into trolling. I just really, really have a real conversation because I really want to get some shit off that's in my mind. Y'all kind of give him that. Y'all remind me of Not For Nothing pre-K kids with autism. Even when he's trying to be even if it's just a few minutes, you can't even give him that. I'm going to try fidgeting in your fucking seat, and eventually you get up and you whip your dick out. And it's like, damn, only 2 minutes went by. Craziness. Y'all gonna wait till when someone is actually gone or quit to then turn around and say how much you missed them. And isn't that the fucking mistake that we keep making as human beings, online and offline, in our fucking real lives? We don't give people the amount of respect and the amount of flowers they deserve while they're here now. We don't give people the amount of patience that they deserve now. You can easily just say, he just need to get something off, and after that, back to our scheduled fuckery. But you won't even give him a moment to breathe. So he's got to go take it from you by leaving. Think about it. The man probably wouldn't have to leave if he didn't have to go through so much shit where he couldn't get what he needed from you guys. You know, the people that claim that you love him, you go see him on a regular basis. I like LA. I love him. I see him on a regular basis. Show him no respect. Then he's leaving. Oh, you leaving? Oh, really? Oh, nigga, you leaving? Really? Let him be gone for a while. Damn, I used to like LA show. I miss him. Don't say you miss him. Because you contributed to him leaving. For a few minutes. It's like having wild kids. I just need a few minutes. I just walked in the goddamn door. I just need a few fucking minutes. And y'all couldn't give him that. I've been told the man he's very entertaining. He can do his own shit. But when he needs his own mind space, you won't even give him that. This is why I say care, mercy, grace. Now he has to turn around and claim his peace, not just from his family, but claim his peace from y'all as well. I didn't contribute to that. Yeah, you did. You did. You know what this moment reminds me of? It's giving them flowers while they can still smell them. Cliche. Because God forbid, and I hope nothing ever like that happens. But if something ever happens, we had to deliver some bad news. So many of you guys are gonna sit there and you're gonna be like, oh, I really like the guy. I love coming to his shows, whatever. When you showed it? When did you show it? Damn for sure when he wasn't serious, yelling at his highest octet, literally like showing his frustration, showing his tears. It wasn't then. When were you ever going to take him serious? Just when he's done and gone? Is that how you wish to be treated in life? People only look at you seriously when you're done, when you've expired? Don't do this to people. I wouldn't want this. I wouldn't treat you like this. But for some reason, when it comes to people who are online, you don't treat them like they're human. You treat them like they're cartoons. Even though you can hear all the horror stories of things that even happen online, you don't give people their respect while they're here. You don't even give people their moment while they're here. You only wait till when they're gone. I think it's a motherfucking shame that LA had to leave YouTube. But I'm not mad that he had to leave some of you. Because being on live should have been his fucking sanctuary from the bullshit that he was doing with online. And instead, you didn't contribute to his ease. He doesn't have to say it. I'm going to say it. Most people don't give you your flowers while you're here. They give you pressure. They give you opinions. They give you demands. That moment that you set your boundary, they give you distance or disrespect. So I salute LA for doing what many of us won't. He broke the contract. He walked off the motherfucking stage. He said, y'all keep your applause. I'm going to choose peace. By the way, for those who already have, but if you haven't stepped away from something that you were good at already, that you or just had to survive it, do yourself a favor. Share that shit in the chat. Share it in the chat. I think plenty of us, especially as we're all adults here, I don't have no kids on my channel, has had to go and overcome something to survive something. Who had to do something wholeheartedly without quitting. But how many of you actually choose peace and comfort, sacrificing the things that people try to hold you to that they claim that you should hold on to, like family, like the word love? And maybe some of y'all haven't gone through this. Maybe some of you have only been close to the edge. But I knew at least some of you, if you made it past your teenage years, because I don't got no kids in my chat, you know what it's like to have to become a revolutionary. You know what it's like to have to fight what's yours at least once. So I want to say this to you guys the same way how we had to hear this story even from LA and from so many other people. Because he's absolutely right. Your family is the first and final test. Family. Because that's supposed to be your first home, your first example of love, your blueprint to the world. Not everybody gets to have that looking the same. But for some of us, family is where the original damage actually takes place, where the original damage was done. And it cuts deep because it came from a place from people who said, I'm doing this for your own good. How many times have we heard those words? Hmm? How many times have we heard those words? I've had streams where we talked about people who lose friends, we lose people who we're close to, but this is not that. This is the stream where I'm talking about cutting people off. And why we hold on to them, because either it's the shared trauma bonding, but sometimes it's because we're afraid to get rid of people that we think that holds our same bloodline. People who lie to us and tell us that the things that they're doing, even they're mistreating us, is for our own good. You know what's the hardest part to walk away from? The ones who say they love you while they are actively harming you. Because love should feel like safety, not obligation. Let me say that again. Love should feel like safety, not obligation. Come on, we being honest here for a moment. In a lot of households, love was just the fucking performance. You were loved when you got good grades. You were loved when you did what you were told. You were loved when you were quiet, when you were useful, when you were helpful. But just existing? Just being yourself? That was never good enough. When was that ever good enough? You think it's hard to leave a toxic job? Try stepping away from a toxic family dynamic. You start asking yourself very simple questions. Am I overreacting? Is it really that bad? But what if they change? Tell me how this doesn't sound like some people that also go through relationships. Because exactly what it is, just a relationship with family. And the sad part about it is that you'll start gaslighting yourself because they trained you to do it. You're going to remember the cookouts, the childhood birthdays, if you're lucky, a few times that they may have come through when you were younger, and suddenly you'll start negotiating your own pain. You'll start trying to discount the trauma with highlight reels. And let me say it clearly for you. Just because it wasn't all bad doesn't mean it wasn't toxic. Here's how you know it's time. It's time to back away. If it feels like every conversation feels like a fucking test. If you feel more peace in silence than you do in their presence. If you dread picking up the phone. If your first instinct is to lie when they ask you how you're doing. You're not being loved. You're being managed. That's not family. That's what we call psychological warfare, matching DNA. And don't let culture guilt you into staying there fucking either. In the black and brown families especially, we're taught family is everything. Blood is thicker than water. You only get one mama. And while those statements could sound, very scary, they're often used to keep you chained in a cycle that's going to kill your spirit. Let's just keep it a buck. Some of y'all weren't raised. You were survived. Some of you weren't even raised as kids. You were raised as servants. I'm just saying. Some of you became the fixer, the emotional sponge, the overachiever, the peacemaker, just so things didn't explode. And now as an adult, you're exhausted. You're exhausted and you're trying to heal from the battlefield, from a place that you still call home. Let me tell you something that may save your life. May save your life. Distance is not disrespect. You're not wrong for needing some hair. You're not evil for wanting boundaries. You're not selfish for saying, not this time. And here's where reality gets tricky. When you finally step back, they're not going to say they're sorry. They'll say, you're being dramatic. They'll say, you changed. They'll say, you think you're better than us? They'll say, I ain't worried. You'll be back. Because your healing shines a fucking spotlight on everything they're still avoiding. You become a reminder they can't ignore. So what do you do? What do? They mock your growth. They try to reel you back in with guilt, shame, fake emergencies. I'm already thinking of some of LA's fake emergencies. They hit you with the You weren't there when I needed you, but you're the one that they call on the most. Even though they were never there when you needed them. Go figure. That's not love. That's control. And here's the catch that people are not telling you. When you finally walk away, you don't feel peace right away. You actually feel lonely. You feel like you abandoned them. You feel like you betrayed yourself. Why? Because they train you to believe that peace is selfish. Let me say that again. They train you to believe that peace is selfish, that healing is betrayal. That distance that you're trying to take means that you're the bad guy. I say stand tall. Raise your voice of fucking finality. You're not the bad guy. You're the blueprint. You're the one that's breaking down the walls that they set up that other people couldn't get through. You're the one who said the shit ends with me. You're the one who saw the dysfunction and chose not to pass that shit down, not to take it in. And if nobody else has ever told you today these words, I'm proud of you. I see you. I know that this was hard. You're not weak for walking away. You're not strong for surviving it long enough to leave. Family is supposed to be your foundation. But if you're sinking, then the most loving thing that you can do is build that shit somewhere else. I'm not even gonna lie. Before I get into that, I want you guys to get really a good understanding of what I was thinking and what I was seeing when I was hearing this. In LA, this is your video. So let me do this real quick. This is what LA was saying real quick.
The lie that somebody told me a long time ago, and I got to stop saying it, is family first. Because that's a fucking lie. Family is not first. Don't put family first. Don't do it. Because the person who the family says is the rock of the family, that's the person that they lean on for everything. The person that they say is the rock of the family, oh, Mr. Reliable, oh, Uncle Lamar, or Uncle Mike, Uncle Zed, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. If you're the person that everybody called at a young age, let's say you 14 years old, your sister needs something fixed, she calling you. You got other brothers, but they call you, right? That's how that shit start. You get a little job, you breaking everybody off your little bit of dough. And you everybody's favorite now. That's how that shit start. I'm trying to help you dumbass men one day, man. I don't know why. Don't make this mistake, man. You want to know the real reason why I'm moving to the Dominican Republic? Is get away from my family. I don't know, y'all remember last summer, I did a stream when I was down south, and I snapped on that stream too. I don't know if y'all that perceptive or give a fuck about my life that much, but when I said I did a barbecue, and during that barbecue, I did every fucking thing. Nobody tried to lift a finger. Nobody tried to lift a finger, man. And I snapped. This shit been going on for years. And the thing is, I took it out on everybody else because the people that I love the most, when I told them how I felt, that's what, you know what, Sugar Bum, you right. I am about to shit on black women. If you in this bitch, you right. Because I think my family killed my fucking father, man.
All right. I ain't gonna get into that part. I ain't gonna get into that part because he kind of went in. I ain't gonna lie. He kind of went in. But damn. Think about it. But think about even to get to that part, to have those kind of feelings, you got to be very careful of the people that surround you, the people that you give all of your energy to. And I say shout out to him for doing it for so long. I wish he could have woken up a lot sooner because who knows how much more time he would have had rebuilding himself. And again, we all learn at our time. You know, like some people like to say, if you haven't figured this shit out by this time, man, fuck all of that. You wake up when you wake up. The most that we hope is that we wake up sooner than later. Because some of you are sitting here in your 50s and your 60s and you're still doing it. You still haven't gotten out that rut. You probably had heart palpitations and everything, still going through the bullshit. If it ain't your family, it's your spouse. If it ain't your spouse, still your family, by the way, then it's your children. And even some of those little motherfuckers need to get cut the fuck off too. Not even gonna lie. And it's the funny part, like as LA, as someone who's also a creator in spaces, and I'm seeing many people have lessons like this that we still go through things online. We still have things all online, but also that things those that reflect in our real life. You know, we talk about creators losing their mind, burning out, disappearing, falling off, but nobody wants to talk about that pressure cooker that y'all created. And when I say y'all, I mean the audience, the chat, the so-called supporters. Some of y'all don't show up because you care. And you say all of you, but some of y'all don't show up because you care. You show up to witness people unravel. You show up because you're hoping that the day that you're there is going to be the day where they finally crash out and they do the worst. And you just want to make sure you're there to see it. But then you'll sit there and say, how was I supposed to know? But you show up every time to antagonize. And when we don't unravel fast enough, when we don't feed your little trauma appetite, you move on. You move on to the next person, to the next public space where people are breaking down. And here's the little dirty little secret. Support is a drug. And the moment we stop giving you a high, you go cold turkey on us too. I don't expect, like you said, what I expect from the World Wide Web. I don't expect us all to be pieces of shit. See, a lot of people, those who know me really know me. Most people will tell you who don't know me, Resla is pessimistic. But those who really know me know that I'm not pessimistic. I'm pragmatic. There's a difference. I don't run with the idea of the world ending and all that other bullshit, doomsday and whatever. I don't. I'm just not naive about people. And this is why I'm also talking about the people who are online, because being online and carry on to anonymous names or things doesn't make us feel like we need to be more than who we are. It means that we need to become worse than who we are. More than half the motherfuckers who I see act up in chats and on panels don't behave that way in real life. Will lie to your face. Oh, I do. You're a liar. Most of you don't do it. In your real life, you're probably rather tame. This is the only time you can actually get your rocks off. So when we go cold, when we do our thing, I go cold turkey on this. Suddenly you don't want to watch as often. Suddenly you don't feel like you wanna be a part of our content anymore. Suddenly you're ready to ghost. And you know what's the thing that probably stings the most? You'll tell a content creator you miss the old them. But what you really miss is when they were hurting in the way that was entertaining to you. For all we know, LA is gonna get better. He gonna be good. He gonna kick it up. He gonna be really great. And y'all gonna say, I miss the old LA. He's not as fun as I used to remember him for because he's gotten over his trauma. Let me say it again for y'all. You miss when they were bleeding out just enough to keep performing. You don't actually miss their content, you miss their chaos. As long as they were beautifully edited and they were yelling and spiraling out, you miss their pain. As long as they were cracking jokes and trying to muscle through it, you you miss their honesty as long as it didn't make you uncomfortable. And guess what? That's not support. It's not support. Creators are made to feel disposable now, like seasonal entertainment. We have value apparently when we're in pain. But the moment we start setting boundaries, logging off, saying, nah, I'm not going to be okay with this right now, here comes the unsubscribers. Here comes if you're on Twitter, here comes the side tweets. Here comes the little snarky fucking remarks in the comment sections. Like, he's just not the same. He fell off. She fell off. They changed. You sound no different from the family members that we were just talking about earlier. And you know what? Damn right we changed. And you should too. Damn right we got better. And you should too. Because staying the fucking same would have killed us. And you would have been sitting here saying, I missed him. How was I supposed to know that this was going to happen and Resla wouldn't be here no more? When you did actively nothing to help ease the burden. Some of y'all don't realize you're part of the twist of the knife because you think that people are here, especially online, for you and for you only. And instead of supporting, you try to do everything within your little feelings, within your little typing of your keyboard to make them as miserable as you can. Some of you guys have nothing else better to do but to go on from panel to panel, from content to content, from comment section to live, just trying to make other people miserable. And I think you should get kicked by a horse and die. I said what I said. It's one thing if you're a troll and your chat trolls you. It's one thing if you're just a motherfucker that just like to go around and try to make everybody feel miserable. For the most part, I say when it comes to creators, your audience is a mirror. And if you're a kind person, or rather, if you're a kind enough person who pushes people somewhere for healing, you'll get that kind of chat and response. But you need to ask yourself as the creator, what does that say about you? And as a person who's a chatter, or even mod or whatever, you have to ask yourself in the space that you are, what does that say about you? Are you actually a supporter? Or are you just another parasite feeding off of the host's fucking vulnerability? Which one are you? And you know what I realized? Some people aren't fans of the content. They're fans of the suffering that it creates. This is the reason why so many people are hooked on and still talk about to this day like it's fucking old episodes of Martin Fight Club. You remember that episode of Martin when Martin been off the air for how long? Y'all do the same thing when it comes to fucking Fight Club. And I might have to talk about that one day. Because once you stop giving them content rooted in struggle, heartbreak, grief, dysfunction, people become fucking lost. All of a sudden, you don't know what to fucking do with people who come to the channel with peace. It's boring that they found peace. Y'all like gremlins. And for me, that's how I know who really rocks with you and who really doesn't. If people are happy to see you back and they're glad that you're doing it and they're happy that you have new support and that you have a way that you're trying to do your channel or whatever, versus those who turn around and say, I want the old you. Well, they're not Kanye. And even Kanye had to fucking change because why? Kanye more than likely didn't get the support that he needed. Making my point. You like to live in chaos? Cool. Stay there. Don't expect everybody else to be there. That's simple. I think when people like to switch their tone from chaos to clarity, most of the crowd is going to vanish. And that's not a bad thing. Because the truth of the matter is that they didn't come there for you. They came there for a mess. Which means that anybody can take your place. All they have to do is provide a mess. That's going to be the reality check. It is what it is. So I say this to the chat, to the comment lurkers, to the followers who pulled up when it's convenient. If you're not here for the healing, when a content creator needs healing, by the way, then don't act like you were there when they need to be there when they're in their hurt. Just shut the fuck up and don't say shit. Because when it's all said and done, does your view really count? Does it? Not when you've actually trained your audience to expect your breakdown instead of your breakthrough. And like I said, I hope people find their strength to be able to do what they got to do because people have real life shit out here. And I want to say this also to you people who sit around in the chat. Performers are not your property. What? Huh? What do you mean by that? Performers are not your property. No one's your emotional service dog. We're not your daily dose of distraction. But creators are people too. And if they need to take a step back, for some reason y'all treat it like it's betrayal. Like, ask yourself, what does that say about you? And for some people, you just don't even care anyway because you're just all about the bullshit anyway. So that just says a lot about yourself. And I couldn't care. But it also means that you weren't showing up for the creator. You were just showing up for something else. And I had to say this even to my own chat recently. You should have whatever you're going to show to, but you're not going to tell people how to run their show. keep in mind, if the moment they stop serving your needs for content, entertainment, your parasocial comfort, you should dip. You should dip. Don't lash out. Don't say I'm taking my ball. Just go. It's fine. Because to that person, they should think that that's not support. That you're performing emotional colonialism. It is what it is. For those who want to take their own mental space so that they don't go through it, you don't owe your audience a breakdown. You don't owe your family emotional bankruptcy. You don't owe anybody a damn thing if it comes at the expense of your sanity. If you cannot celebrate when you're doing your own thing, when you're rebuilding, then they didn't deserve to have you when you were going to be loud and you were available and you were breaking. Let them call you selfish. Let them say that you changed. Let them become distant. It's not worth anything at the extent of your peace. It's not worth it. They're not worth it. And anyone that wants to sit there and hold on to that, keep them. They'll consume you in the end. And once you settle into it, you'll never perform for proximity again. Those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have all of yours. But you can take what I've already said. You could think about everything that's going on. I was wanting to respond to what LA was pretty much saying. Everybody's gonna have their own takes. And again, that's for you to have your own opinions when it comes to the subject. Shout out to everybody who's already here in the chat. I do appreciate you for actually stopping by. I can see that a lot of you pretty much showed up late. Don't know where you came from. And it is going to be what it is. So if you haven't figured out, like I said it earlier, LA Books pretty much he's taking a hiatus from personal life as well as internet life, and it's just going to be what it is. And I applaud him for actually taking it off, because some people don't even think that they have the discipline to do so, but he actually turned around and did it. I don't think everybody just needs to be on. Unfortunately, people rather be slaves to the algorithm than anything else. I say if you want to take your time, take your time. And it'll be what it is. Don't worry about anybody else. Do what you got to do. And with that being said, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna be building up a couple of things for this week. As far as going through my system as well. But that was what I wanted to say for LA. What's going on, and then I'll be on, of course, later this week. Hopefully, shit will be working a lot better from there. But until then, you guys take care of yourselves. You take care of your families, and of course, stay up in your. I'll see you in the next one.